Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making two rustic floral tags. So I'm going to start by inking up a background stamp using my Memento Dewdrop inks, and then I'm going to stamp that onto craft colored cardstock. So this is sort of a comparison between two different colored inks that I'm using, and we're going to see the two different results we get. So to start with though, I wanted to mention that I used the Stampin' Up! Bulbs in Bloom stamp set today for the main stamped image that will be coming up in a minute. I chose to use one of the flowers, but there are 3 different flower types in this stamp set to choose from. So you can see this is the flower I chose, and I'm inking it up with the orangey copper sort of color of ink, and then I'm going to bring in my dark brown ink and also stamp this flower out in that. So I'm going to be doing a comparison between the 2 different colors of ink and see how they turn out. So I'm going to be using biennial markers, which are alcohol markers to start with, to color these 2 flowers in side by side. And then later on in the video you'll see that I'll bring in some pencils. They're just simple Crayola pencils, and add another depth to these flowers by coloring in and shading a little bit more with those on top of the already laid down alcohol markers. So that will add a little bit more depth. Then I'll bubble cut them out, kind of fussy cut them out, and then be able to stick those down to these tags. I also will use a little bit of baker's twine to add a little bit more of a rustic element to these. Stay tuned to the end and let me know which one out of these 2 flower tags that you ended up preferring the most. So here are the flowers already cut out. You can see how I kind of bubble cut them. But now I'm going in with a little bit of the pencil and going around the edges of the tags a little bit more just to build in the slightly shadowed, more dimensional look even on the tag base. Here I'm bringing in the baker's twine, which is a tan color and then it's speckled with gold. Then I'm also bringing in this really pretty olive green color ribbon. So I'm going to cut 2 strips of that because we are making 2 tags today, and I'm going to use my Barely Art glue to glue it down. Barely Art glue is very good for holding and tacking down material sort of texture like ribbon to a paper card. So here I'm adding a generous amount of that glue onto it and then choosing where I want to lay it down and sticking it down. Then I'm adding a little bit more of that glue to those tabs and then pulling that ribbon back behind the tag and sticking it down. It's a pretty quick drying glue, so it actually holds relatively well. So now I'm taking the baker's twine and trying to decide how much I want to wrap around. Then I'll glue that behind and tie a cute bow in the front. And now I'm repeating the step for the other tag, wrapping the twine around, deciding what I want, and on this one is when I realized I wanted the tie in the front of the tag, not behind it. So you can see the 2 different looks this way also. Here I'm purposely fraying the ends of the twine a little bit more to add more texture. So you can see I didn't end up using the green ribbon for both. They both have slight variations to them, so you can decide which version you like the most, but I decided my placement and I'm gluing the flower down to the front of the tag. So here's when I decided I really wanted a tie on the front of this one as well, so I'm going in with a little bit more baker's twine, a separate piece of it, and tying that so that I could have the pretty tie on the front of this one as well. Here is where these tags really start looking put together and have so much dimension. It's when we glue down the tag to a piece of colored cardstock that has a little bit more texture. So this one has a polka dot background, and I really love the way that this hazel color contrasted with this tag. Now for this other one, I decided to go in with a mustard yellow tone, which the camera doesn't quite pick up on perfectly. It shows it as more of a neon yellow, but it's more of like a mustard golden yellow. Here they are, almost done. You can see that I trimmed out the paper to be the right shape for the tag. I'm going in, and you can either stamp this to and from directly onto the colored cardstock or bring in a cream colored stock like I'm showing you here. Now the next step is just to add your ribbon, punch the hole in the top, and then give these to that lucky person in your life. So tell me, which one is your favorite? Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.